I believe feng shui is a compassionate practice. It's not wrong if you feel this way, because that way is also right. Once it works for your life. And that's my message.
Welcome to Winning with Feng Shui. Join me, Candace, a certified Feng Shui practitioner, for a chat with Feng Shui experts from every walk of life. They'll share their inspirational stories of helping themselves and their clients achieve winning results and success using Feng Shui. Hey guys, today I'm so excited to be joined by Wendy Yawching. So Wendy is a certified master practitioner of BTB Feng Shui, and for the past 3 years has served on the board of the wonderful International Feng Shui Guild. She resides in the beautiful Caribbean island of Trinidad and Tobago, which you can see in the background. It's just lovely. She assists both international and domestic clients to transform their personal and professional lives in deep and meaningful ways. Wendy's passion and strength is in creating healing spaces for people and for animals at work, rest, or play. So, whether it's in your home or business place, an animal shelter, or a horse stable, she will work with you to enhance the energetics so its occupants can thrive and maximize their potential. Wendy loves sharing with magic, virtual and in person, workshops that are designed to help you live your best life. She helps you learn how to effectively use the 5 elements or create a supercharged feng shui vision board, or understanding how feng shui can improve your love and relationships or increase your business success. Be it on-site or virtually, her clients will have full access to the wisdom she's gained through the years of being a master level feng shui specialist. Wendy offers a worldly design philosophy that integrates seamlessly with each client's personal taste while meeting their specific needs. Her former career as an airline pilot and a lifetime of travel has instilled within her an appreciation of cultural variances that inspire each consultation. You will receive practical, effective guidance for living a joy-filled, more successful life, all with a Caribbean flair. Welcome, Wendy. It's so nice to have you on today.
Thank you so much, Candace, for having me. It's my honor and pleasure to be here today.
Awesome. I'm so excited. So you live again in the island of Tobago, it's called?
Tobago, like tomato,
Tobago. Thank you.
Tobago, which explains the bird song that you will be hearing for the whole interview.
Oh,
Lots
I
and
think
lots
it's
of nature sound
lovely.
here. Yes.
Yeah, it's lovely. I enjoy it. In fact, sometimes when I'm working and I need some white noise, I'll put on bird song or in like a stream or like a forest sound. And so I love it. I think it's beautiful and it adds to the ambiance. So yeah,
We
so the
actually,
birds are welcome.
we actually don't even hear them because they're so natural to us. But
Hmm.
then when you do a video or an interview, the bird song seems to be the loudest thing. And there are morning birds, afternoon birds, and night evening birds, and they all have their different noises. So I just make a disclaimer. Forgive the bird song and sometimes the wind in the trees because that's my life. So
Yes. Well, I think the Caribbean noises are beautiful. So, well, I think we'll definitely enjoy that. We'll definitely enjoy it. So, so on your bio here, one thing I didn't know about you is that you formerly were an airline pilot. How did you transition from being an airline pilot into doing feng shui?
yep, that was a big jump. The
Yeah.
I retired from flying. I was actually a airline captain, and I retired. And when I retired, I wanted to do something that opened up the other sides of myself that flying didn't. And flying, of course, being very logical and left brain and organized and structured, I know that I had both sides of me, and one side was not as developed as the other. So I actually consciously was looking for something that developed my right brain and my inner strengths. And I kept finding feng shui popping up on my radar. So finally I said, okay, I'm going to take a look at this. And I followed it. I started in 2007 with traditional classical feng shui. I studied that. I was certified and I enjoyed it and I loved it. But I found that I used it for my personal life and not for my professional life. I was still hesitant or not confident in my ability to go out and help people at that time. So then I took it one step further. I was attracted again by the constant messages um, and emails and things that I kept finding popping up on my feeds about BTB feng shui. And I'm like, okay, this won't go away. let me follow it up. So I checked it out, signed up. I did the program in BTB Feng Shui with Rosalie and Stephen and Barry, and I fell absolutely in love with that approach to Feng Shui. I graduated in 2014 with my master's. And since then, and in fact, from the beginning of that course, they encouraged us to get out there and start working with clients. So from 2011, I've been working with clients practicing BTB Feng Shui, and I find that that somehow satisfies the whole of me. So I have a classical training, but I never really used it much. And then I have the BTB, which is a more modern approach to Feng Shui, as the methodology that I use to really connect people and Feng Shui. Yes, that's my Feng Shui history. And how do I feel about being a captain who's become a Feng Shui master? Absolutely complete. I love it.
Awesome. So one thing I have noticed is a lot of people do have a background kind of in both, and which I do a little bit too. When I first started learning, I learned with the practitioner, even though she and I interviewed her also, but she takes it's almost like a blend of the two. And a lot of people I know they gear more towards the BTB approach because you really do. I think with both schools you have to tap into the intuition, but with the
Yes.
BTB approach, it really is about it's almost like another sense you're using, you know, and sensing the environment and looking at how that's affecting us.
It really is. And something in me resonates to that. And I love when I have the feeling knowing that I'm being guided or I'm in the zone and I'm connecting energetically with the space and the people. And that the BTB has really developed that skill. So yes, it resonates with me at a core level. Mhm.
Awesome. One thing I love also about feng shui is that a lot of, I mean, our background really affects, you know, kind of our practice. We tend to put a lot of our own, you know, background and kind of even beliefs or experiences into that. And so you kind of talk about in the introduction there, we talked about how you add the Caribbean flair. So can you explain that? Is there things that you add to feng shui that you do that kind of come from that background, obviously, right?
I believe I can't separate them. In my approach to feng shui, there will be, I mean, I have traveled, so I'm comfortable and aware of different cultures and places and approaches, and I use those because it's client driven. But my expressions of feng shui will always have light and color and passion. And that would be my go-to, my first go-to. That's the way I see. However, if that doesn't work with a client or situation, then I certainly am using theirs, but they will hear light and color and passion from me. I mean, you can see the way I talk. So that's where the Caribbean comes in because we have, that's what we live in, light, color, passion, music, birds, the wind, the trees. So that comes out in how I approach my feng shui solutions, consultations, and teachings. The passion is obvious.
So you had your home built. Am I remembering correctly?
My home was built by
It was,
myself and my husband
yes. Yeah.
using feng shui principles.
Using functional principles. So when you built your home, did you use those classical formulas? Did you orient a space, or was it more an intuitive thing where you took a look? Because I know you showed me the view, and it was amazing. The view, you see the ocean. It's just a beautiful view, and even the background now is just amazing. So I feel like you can't get a bad view where you're at.
I am going to have, I'm going to explain that I'm not at my home now because of
Yes.
the construction that was going on next door. I
Hmm.
am in a place, actually it's a villa that I manage, a
Hmm.
vacation villa, which is also beautiful, but the view is different and the ambiance is definitely different. So the home that I built was initially started with classical feng shui principles. So my poor husband was trying to put the foundation in place. And I'm like, 5 more degrees to the left, honey. Poor lad. Because, because I was going by definitely using the compass directions. And so the house is aligned as per classical feng shui. And then the design of the house itself is, which came up organically. We never actually made any real plans. We evolved it, is all intuitive and BTB. And it was created as a house that came from two hearts. And it really, everyone feels that when they come into our house, the feeling is, ah, wow. And it's not just the view, it's all the feng shui intuitive feng shui that was actually built into the house at each stage of its development. And so I have to say it's a blend, like I am, of the two.
Yeah, so I've seen, I do a lot of the like feng shui forums, the boards online and stuff like that, and through Facebook and all that. And I always see people say that they would not blend the two, and I beg to differ. I really think the two can go hand in hand. I think that's one of the best things you can do is to build a home and a space of land that's oriented, and you're tapping into, the natural chi of the environment, which is, I mean, where feng shui comes from, all those landforms. But there's definitely, you want to walk into a home and feel, a certain way. And a lot of that's done through using the colors, the decorations, the lighting, of course. You want to have the nice natural lighting and all that. So, I think my point is that I think a lot of people, they try to be so rigid in the feng shui, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing the interviews too. They try to be very rigid and stick to one school or stick to one thing. But again, I really think it can be blended together, and it really kind of does evolve as you practice and you learn more and you learn kind of what works. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you, but my blending together came because of my own journey, because I had studied the classical, and that's when we put the foundation down just after that, before I got into the BTB. And then I was in the BTB program, and we were building the house because it took a long time. It was just the two of us building the house.
Wow.
And so it evolved into a mix of the two. Now I practice BTB, but I'm always aware of my background in classical. And I actually think that one of the things I'll put on my to-do list, maybe for 2022, because 2021 seems awfully busy, is to revisit my classical roots and see if I can integrate it even more with my practice. Because right now, my practice is fully BTB. It's fully intuitive and I love it. But I think I would have another level that I could use for my clients' benefit if I practice a blend. I do believe that the blend can be very useful. For those people who wish to stake one particular position, that's great. That's fine. Once they're happy and comfortable. I believe feng shui is a compassionate practice. It's not wrong if you feel this way, because that way is also right. Once it works for your life. And that's my message. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I agree with that. And I do feel like there's always something we can learn. Like I said, sometimes you go in, and I think even with both sides, like with classical or even BTB, you come in and there's some practitioners that are very, they're very rigid. And again, that's their, beliefs or their school of thought or whatever. But I think we can all kind of learn from each other and not be so set on being right all the time. I think, sometimes we want to be right or feel, like, well, yeah, it works for me. But, again, intuitively, we come from, and even the backgrounds, we come from different backgrounds and stuff. And we put that into our practice,
I certainly have met people who feel very strongly about their way, but I believe the right way is the way that really brings benefit to the clients.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
situation.
Yes.
And so, and that you will find the people who need you are attracted to you and your approach. So I have no worries with that. There's room for all of us.
Yes.
And what is your style of feng shui that you use, Candice?
I use classical feng shui.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I can take one of your courses when I'm revisiting.
Yeah, sure. Come on in. So, in saying that, you do offer some courses in feng shui, and so can you tell us what that would entail? So, you have a couple different courses, and I'll of course link them in the notes. So, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I don't do certification courses. I do what I call little snippet lifestyle courses that help normal people get comfortable with certain aspects of feng shui so that they can apply it to their lives. In other words, they don't have to do the whole feng shui certification or journey to become a master feng shui person. If they want to learn how to use feng shui in their home, I have a course called Art of Feng Shui that's about feng shui in your home. Similarly, for your businesses, I have one called Feng Shui for Success, for business success. For your relationships, one for love. And I also, my most exciting one right now, I love it, is one called New Beginnings, which is a energy vision board process that I've created that applies feng shui to vision boarding. And it is a game changer. And I have a couple of other courses that I love giving, but it's all little modules that bring feng shui to the normal person and get them excited and let them have things that they can use safely to practice in their own space. I have a beautiful one called Find Your Fire on the 5 elements and how you can use it in your day-to-day life. Yeah. Oh, and of course, because it's COVID and we all locked down, I've created one for creating your best home office workspace, because so many people who find themselves suddenly catapulted from being in the corporate world to working at home have found it difficult to keep their focus and their practice, their professionalism and their energy high, because they're used to leaving home relaxed or maybe busy with kids and stuff, and go off into the corporate world, change their energy, do the corporate thing, come home, change energy again. And now it's all tangled together. And so I think many of us would probably find we're working with clients who have that need. And so I created, again, another short module to help people set up their best workspace from home. So I just love giving those bits because they're manageable and they can connect with the normal person. And then perhaps they'll take their feng shui journey even further because of that small connection where you got into something they really need. So yeah, those are the courses I currently offer.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. I know I really do think it's valuable to start slow with feng shui and to focus like on one little area or one space or learn some small things at a time, because I think jumping in sometimes is overwhelming for people. I know when you Google how to do feng shui, you look it up online and then you get a bunch of different things because there's so many different schools of thought and so many different practices. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, looking at one space or one life area, love, romance, work, it's very valuable because you can focus on that one space and you can see the change and you can see the impact of feng shui, and then you could take it further.
Or you can decide, I need Candace or I need Wendy
Yes,
to go
for sure.
because I me, but I want to go further. And so
Yes.
that's too.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, speaking of clients, one thing I'd love to do to talk about is those memorable clients. We all have those success stories where we think, wow, that was really impactful on this person's life. Or I had this client I worked with and it really made an impact on their life or my own life. So, what is your favorite, like most memorable story with working with the clients or applying feng shui for yourself?
Okay. I'll start with the easy one. One of the things that really lights me up is when I teach workshops, and I in the past I was doing them in person, and now of course it's all virtual. But when people when their response to me is that this was life changing, why didn't I do this before? It has changed everything for me. I feel that wonderful sense of this is why I'm doing this. This is what this is about for me. When you can touch lives like that, and that happens regularly with my workshops. In terms of clients, yes, we've had some memorable ones, and the most memorable one that I can that comes to mind, off the cuff, is there was this lady. She's actually, I think, 78, and she lives in Trinidad. This was an in-person consult that I was able to do for her. And when she called me, she was at her. She had given up hope in having a joyful life. The energy of that lovely lady, but the energy had become so heavy and dark because she firmly believed that everybody in the world was against her. She couldn't trust anyone. She had no friends. She had health issues all over the place. And she called me, I think, as a last resort because a friend of hers recommended me, because a lot of my traffic is organic. And I came to her, and when I met her, I thought, oh my goodness, can I really help this woman? Because it's not about a home. She called me for a home, but what she asked me really was, I need to know why I should go on living. Okay, what's the purpose of my life? And she's 78. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought, can I really help this person? So I did my centering and my meditation, and I went into this consult that lasted 5 hours together, 5 hours. By the end of it, I knew as we were going through that the flow was happening. And somewhere about an hour before the end, because the end was joyous, she was in tears in my arms. This very intelligent, educated, professional woman who had given up hope. She was in tears in my arms. And the ending, we were wrapping up all, the recommendations and the suggestions. There was this element of light and hope that was coming through the darkness. And we have been working together because it's not a one and done with me. We have a relationship. You're now one of my children. And kept in touch with me every couple of months. We'd have a contact, and she calls me my wise one and my most helpful person. And she tells me, I am fine. I know now why I am here. I know what I no longer hate everybody. I have forgiven. And she's done everything I've suggested in her house very, very conscientiously. And she loves her home. She loves being there. But her energy is one now where she is happy to be alive, to embrace whatever life brings to her from now on. And she has forgiven all the people that she was absolutely resisting and resenting before that affected her life to date. And I know that turning point was our consultation. I have no doubt about it. And she makes it so clear as well with every communication. Oh, my most helpful person, much love. You change everything for me. Oh, wise one. And I don't look for those comments, but they are so wonderful when you know from whence that person came. She liked no one. And now she likes life. She likes life again. And I know that's the difference I made. So if ever I doubted, and I don't, but if ever I doubted, that woman is my put me back on track person. Yeah.
That's
But
amazing.
I don't doubt, I'm very aware of the gift that we bring to our clients. So yeah, I love this journey.
Yes, that makes a wonderful point. And everybody that I've talked to, I think every practitioner that I've met ever, they all talk about the fact that it starts in here and with the mindset and how you're feeling. I think we all in life, I think, go through those times, especially this past year with COVID. I mean, a lot of people lost a lot. Um, and so I think now even more than ever, but people do give up when they start going through those things. They start giving up. You start thinking, it can be very extreme where you don't have the will to live, or it can be very mild where you're just in a negative mindset all the time. And one of the things that I point out, I think a lot of people, they need to be brought out of that. They need the insight. They need that, like it is okay, and there is things worth living for. There's things worth doing still. Let's shift the way you're feeling. You can shift your home environment. You can, but a lot of it starts in here. It starts in there.
And this, you hit the nail on the head. My business, and I'm going to do a little plug here. My business is
Please,
called
yes.
Healing Spaces Caribbean for that very reason, because I work with both the inner person and the outer person. And so she brought me in to do her house. I realized the problem was her. And that's why we spent so much time together, because much of my work was with her and then her house. She was amazed that the house was the lesser of the session. And when we made that shift in her, then the house shifts complemented and supported that. But I could have gone and said, do this, do that, do the other in her house. And if she stayed in that black space, nothing would have helped her. That's my belief. It started with her. It's about the healing journey. And so I know that this is something that I am called to do and to give and to share. And I am here available for that. Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yes, I 100% agree. And so all the like pretty much every practitioner I've met, they all incorporate something with the inner, helping get that clarity and helping kind of bring the person out. What is your method on helping the person? Is it just talking? Is there, I actually use Chinese astrology to do that. Tell us what that looks like. Somebody were to call you and they're like, Wendy, I need some help.
I like that you said Chinese astrology to do that. I also do a bit of Chinese astrology and the nine star key. And I feel there's an energy that goes through me once I'm centered and in the zone. And I can feel the person and feel whether what I'm saying is or what's coming through me is appropriate for that person. But I use the Chinese astrology as a start as well. Yeah, but I think I go mostly on that energy that flows through me and connects me to that person, and it is magical to me, and I don't doubt it. When it's flowing, you can tell. So I guess that's my technique. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, there definitely is something to that intuitive part. Again, going back to the intuition and everything, because you can, with classical feng shui, it's about, using formulas, but you still have to have intuition and knowing when to use it, just like with
Right.
BTB, you have to have the intuition of knowing, where do we need to put things? How does it need to be set up? What area are we focusing on? And just like with, somebody, you can tell when somebody has something else going on that either they're not telling you or,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
If you go into a place, they say, "Come and do my house or my business, my office," and you sit and you see the things that need to be adjusted or changed from the book sense. This is in
Hmm.
the wrong place. That door is over here. You're sitting in the wrong place. All that knowledge we come with, we have. But then you get the energy of the person and what they tell you or share with you about their situation and what they're dreaming of or what they need. Sometimes what they say they want is not at all what they need. And we get that and we pick that up. And then all of a sudden, the adjustments that you could do, technically speaking, for their space are adjusted again at a different level because of what they actually need. And that's where, to me, the feelings come in. I actually get goosebumps when I'm doing that. And I know, yes, they need to consider this and we should try that. And the shift should be here. And this is more important shift than the one that, technically speaking, looked important when I walked in. And that's where the intuition comes in for me. And I trust that. So I don't know if I'm getting too excited about it, but it is an exciting process.
Oh
Yeah.
no, yes, it's great. Thank you. Yeah. And so have you always felt you've been very intuitive to people's feelings, or is it something you felt like you've had to develop? I know I'll just say, so I come from a background of, um, my family has a Christian background. And so we did where we would pray for people or like lay hands on people is, where I come from. And I knew that when I did that, I knew how people felt. I knew and just I it just came to me how people would feel, and I didn't understand what that was until I started tapping into some more kind of, I have gotten away from the traditional, of course, as we do sometimes, and kind of went to a place where, I started exploring different traditions, religions, practices, and stuff like that. And someone told me, well, you're clairsentient. And apparently that's just like a knowing. And I didn't know that. I didn't understand what that was. And so, yeah, I'm very curious to know how have you always been intuitive in that way?
I love that you have that gift. I love that. Thank you for sharing. I didn't I had a natural connection with the divine when I was growing up, as far as I can remember, until I was about 15. There was this very, very um thin division between me and God, as far as I was concerned. And I think my mom was a little concerned by that. And I then, when I was a teenager, I know that I drifted away from that very, very easy conversation to become busy in school and university and training and jobs and life and everything else. And I was always then, doing things like yoga and meditation to bring me back on track, but they were integrated into the major part of my life until I started doing feng shui again. And now that is again the biggest part of my life. And I am so glad, because I wouldn't have wanted to have gotten to the end of my life and not reconnected with that. So I had the career, the whole shebang in the middle, and I have rediscovered or reconnected, not rediscovered. I always knew it was there. So I don't. I think yeah. This is perfect. This is perfect. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I do think that there is times in our lives where we kind of get away from that. We get busy and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely. When I found feng shui, I realized I found something that was very, um, it made sense to me. It made sense, and I connected to it. I thought, as soon as I discovered my feng shui, I actually took classes from the practitioner that came to do my home, and when she came and she was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm actually offering a certification program," I was like, I'm in," because it just made sense. It was so interesting and fascinating to me, and it made sense, and I just thought this is what I want to know more. I want to know more. It's
Yeah.
been lovely to connect with you.
Okay, well, I have really enjoyed this, Candice. I think
Me too. Me too.
you have done a great job at interviewing me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really enjoyed speaking with you. And so if anyone wants to get a hold of you, they can find you. I'm going to link all of the links below if they're interested in taking your courses, which sound amazing. I would really suggest people go check that out. But everything will be linked below.
Okay, but everybody can just easily find me if they think of the word Healing Spaces Caribbean. That's Wendy. Okay, so
Awesome. Yes.
many blessings. Thank you for having me, and good luck with the other interviews. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Please connect them with me.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much for being on.
Bye for now.
Bye. To find the guests and support them, be sure to follow the link in the show notes. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell so you can be alerted when new videos come out.